Hey, thanks for listening to 91.1 The Avenue. I'm Ann Koenig, and this is The Avenue's Mile of Music coverage, made possible with support from Nicolet Bank. Additional support is provided this year by Tyme Tours and Bistro. We are highlighting artists that are in town for Mile of Music 9, and today I am joined by Stephie James. Welcome.
Hi, thank you.
And, Stephie is making her Mile of Music debut sort of, technically. You want to explain that you've been here at the Mile before?
I actually haven't officially been to Mile. So I was like the COVID year, like 2020, when it got canceled, I was supposed to. And then the following year in 2021, like 2 days before we were supposed to leave, our guitar player and I both tested positive for COVID. So we had to call and cancel. And now we're here.
Heartbreaking. But you have been on a Mile of Music stage before as part of Nikki Lane's.
Yeah, that's true too.
Yeah.
That is true. Yeah, I used to play with Nikki Lane, and she's done it.
Yeah, so she was here at the first Mile, and I think the second as well. I don't know if you were with her both times or one of those times.
It probably would have just been the second. Yeah, depending on timeline, but probably just
the second the first was 2013, and then the second would have been 2014. So
yeah, and I was a baby. Yeah, those were like really early tours for me. So yeah.
Well, it's a nice thing to have on your resume.
Oh, for sure.
And now you're here as your own band. You're based in Nashville, and although you're a Detroit native, is that correct?
That's right. Yeah. I grew up in Metro Detroit. So
yeah, I feel like I definitely hear that in your sound.
Really? Some people say that. I don't know what that sounds like, so I'm always curious.
It's the electric guitar vibe, kind of
cool.
Yeah, it's just that edge from Detroit sound.
Okay.
So, and I've even read that you're often compared to Roy Orbison. So, I mean, I hear that kind of in the guitar as well.
Mm-hmm. I love Roy. Yeah.
Who doesn't, right? So, as I mentioned, you have an impressive resume, like touring with Nikki Lane and Anita Baker, right?
Yeah, that was the Anita Baker stuff was like my very, very first, like touring or playing in front of people ever experiences. So
well, you came out of the gate strong, apparently.
Yeah, right.
And you do some engineering work as well, or
I'm credited on some Nashville records as an engineer, and I'm going to be honest, my engineering skills are not. It's like you show up and kind of just like work hard and like figure out what's happening on the fly. And kind of be in the right place at the right time. But I don't like have a history of like engineering or any training but I've like jumped in and helped out, like I can mic up a drum kit and
there you go. Well,
do some headphone mixes. I don't know.
Being in the right place at the right time.
Exactly.
And anyway, you keep some good company. So it's amazing. I saw you this winter. You made a stop at the tap room at Stone Arch and loved what you brought. And I think it was just ahead of you. You were on your way to go to New York to get married. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah. I think it was like, we drove straight back. We played the gig. We drove straight home and then flew to New York. And we eloped in Washington Square Park. So it was really beautiful and cool and very, almost kind of cheesy New York moment, but we loved it.
Yeah.
It was awesome. So
I think everyone should elope.
Yeah, I agree. It's something about having an audience for like a really, it's like between two people. It's I
you
don't
get
need
me.
my aunt that I haven't seen in a decade with a smartphone.
Yeah.
So it was nice. And then we did throw a party like later in Detroit and then invited people out, but it was just food and drinks and just a very, very casual hang.
Well, I happened to catch your couple of songs last night at the PAC for the first songs opening of Mile of Music. You sounded great. You were well received. What's on your horizon musically after Mile of Music?
After Mile, so later in August we're back in the studio, and there are a couple tunes that we're like deciding which should be the next single, and we're gonna just drop a couple singles and they're pretty close. It's just going in and like doing some overdubs and tightening things up, but it's stuff that I'm pretty excited about. And yeah, it's just getting that stuff done, and then okay, how do we release it, but also in a way that makes sense and isn't just like let's put it out next week.
Yeah,
like plan it.
It's not an automatic formula anymore
Right.
at all.
No.
In this new age. Well, I hope you keep us in mind when those drop.
Of
We've
course.
been playing a couple of your songs, and just love your sound. And you may be a best kept secret for now, but I have a feeling that's going to change.
Oh man, I don't know. Thank you. Yeah, it's everybody here is just so kind. It's kind of weird. It's like all the musicians here. We've all been saying like, we wish Appleton was like every city in America was like Appleton. It's just the music community here is so strong and so supportive. And like, I don't know. Last night at that the Performing Arts Center during soundcheck, we're all like, man, this is such a big room. Are people on a Wednesday night like gonna come out and fill the room? And sure enough, we went on stage and the room's full. People just come out for music here and
Well,
they love it.
To be fair, the Mile of Music is like Christmas and your birthday,
The event,
and
yeah.
the celebrating a promotion or whatever big holiday, all in 1 week for music lovers here. And the musicians who have come to Mile of Music have been so generous and receptive and embracing of Appleton as well. So I think the community is just really invested in it, and it's a chance to hear such great music that deserves to be heard and feel like you have a personal connection with it. So,
For sure. Yeah.
it goes in both directions. So thank you for being
awesome.
here.
Oh yeah. I was just telling Adrian and Meredith out there earlier. We almost didn't. We were nervous about coming up here actually as it was leading up because I've had maybe some listeners have experience with this. The first time it's ever happened to me. Vertigo.
Oh yeah. Okay.
That started last week, and it was like really intense. Like everything was spinning. Like I couldn't like to get out of bed. It was like, so I've been to doctors and ENTs, and they all have these like movements with your head and your neck to try to sort it out. But it's kind of just been like riding it out. But even the day before we were supposed to get in the car and leave, it was still a lot of spinning. And I was like, a 10-hour car ride? I don't know, but it was sort of, do I stay home and kind of sit in the dark and try to not move, or just do we go do it? And I'm so glad we're here because it's like now it's every day is just like improving, and everyone's been awesome. It's just fun. I mean, we're just happy to be here.
Well, fantastic. We hope you have an amazing festival.
Thank you.
And I certainly encourage everyone to put Stephie James on your must-see list. We're really lucky to have a musician of her caliber here. And you can find Stephie James and where and when she'll be during the festival by using the Mile of Music app, or pick up one of the printed schedules anywhere downtown or at the Mile of Music headquarters, which is located at the Fox Cities PAC. We're just thank you for coming to our town. It means a lot to us here, and thanks for spending some time in the studio with us today. So this is the Avenue's Mile of Music coverage, made possible with support from Nicolet Bank, with additional support provided by Tyme Tours and Bistro. And if you like our Mile of Music coverage, thank Nicolet Bank and Tyme. But also, we want to remind you that we have a playlist that includes the kind of artists that you find at Mile of Music. And if you love that, all of that is made possible because of you, because the Avenue is independent, nonprofit, listener-supported radio, and you make that happen. So thank you all, and again, have a great mile.